Hello and welcome to the Happy, Healthy, Strong podcast. This is a podcast dedicated to helping you live a happier, healthier, and stronger life. Building a life that you love starts with you owning your health and intentionally creating the best version of yourself. So if you're looking to better understand how proper nutrition, daily movement, mindset work, and strength training can help you create a life full of happiness and health, then you are in the right place. I generally hope that the tips, tricks, and information that we share will be the catalyst for change. I'm your host, Adam Lane. It's time to dive in. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to another episode of the Happy, Healthy, Strong podcast. I'm your host, Adam Lane. With me today, again, 4 times.
Hey.
Mrs. Krystal Bolduc, yes.
I know. We need my podcast at this point. Just kidding. It's the second best thing to my own.
Really? Officially now, you are co-host. That's the title we've given you.
Does that mean I get a hoodie?
So that's what it is.
I just want some merch.
That's done.
It's great merch.
Absolutely done. That's all it takes. It takes 4 times.
Deal.
You know, and then you just keep working your way up.
I'm in.
At some point, you get a pink Cadillac, I think.
Oh, I'm good with merch.
Like Mary Kay back in the day.
Mary Kay.
Is that something? That was something, wasn't it?
It was. And then it became like the pink Cadillac SUV.
Yeah. Oh.
Right. Yeah. Have you ever seen one of those on the road?
I have not.
Yeah.
Maybe I need to look harder.
Brace yourself for when you do.
Holy cow.
Happy to be here.
So listeners, if you're new here, Krystal does some things within the nutrition space, food therapist and integrated holistic nutritionalist, knows many things with food, has her own weight loss story of dropping 120 pounds, literally half the person she is right now, which is crazy to think about. Krystal, the thing I want to talk about today, which I know you have strong opinions on, so this is going to be good. This will be exciting. But this Ozempic deal that is out there, where people, and I don't know the process, I don't know the cost. I have some of my own opinions on things, but they can take this drug in which to curb one's appetite, in which for them to lose weight, and no longer do we need to, have any willpower, or anything like that. We can just take a drug and eat kind of what we want, but it will be less because we took the drug that our government gave us and is FDA approved, and we are good to go. Krystal, from your angle of things, you've helped people lose weight, turn their lives around, feel better about themselves, enjoy looking at the person that's in the mirror. There's so much that goes into this. And now there's a drug that has helped people. Yeah. Like it sounds like there have been people who they couldn't get over the hump. Yeah. And now they took it and they got over the hump. And I think it's a very confusing space for people. Yeah. And here we are. What is your thought on Ozempic? Like on my way home, should I just drive by CVS? No, I'm joking. I can't just pick it up at CVS. Is this? I don't even know how this works. Is this a doctor prescription thing? I don't even know. What do you know about Ozempic? Yeah.
So Ozempic is a GLP-1, which is a glucagon peptide, glucagon-like peptide 1. So it's a category of drugs, right? So there's Ozempic, there's Mounjaro, there's various names and types.
Are they essentially the same thing?
Essentially. Okay. Yes. So it's actually been around for a long time, and it was for diabetes. And so they found just recently, obviously, as it's become more hyped up in the last couple of years, probably about 3 years, I think it's really gained traction, probably more in the mainstream media in this last year. So it was, a lot of celebrities had access, it was kind of one of those biohacking things, if you will, for diabetes and sugars. Well, they found that it caused, less hunger, more appetite control, all of these things that are really heightened in the media, why it's so great. One thing that I've seen that it's getting a lot of publicity about is this thing called food noise. Yep. They're like, oh, you want to shut down the food noise, the constantly thinking about food, constantly thinking about, is it good? Is it bad? This drug helps shut off the food noise, which honestly, from if I were to go back 20 years, would I be tempted to look into this? Absolutely. Yes. Yeah. Because the food noise is so real when you're putting these foods that are very highly addictive in your body and you literally feel powerless to them. Yep. You wish and you pray and you hope and you cry that you would stop, that it would stop controlling you. And so it's very glamorous. That sounds amazing, right? So having it accessible to the general public has really been a game changer in the weight loss industry. I'm at the point now, whenever I see accounts and they've lost a lot of weight in 6 months or 12 months, and it's because of their eating program or their fitness program or their, supplement stack that they're wanting to sell. I'm like, okay, there's been a little enhancement there. But, when we look at our modern culture, we know that 45% of Americans right now are truly in the obese category. 75% of Americans are overweight. So of course we have a big market right now to sell a drug. Similarly to back in
to make it profitable for these companies. Weird. So strange, man.
Absolutely. So right now,
insanely profitable, really profitable.
If you can get your doctor to write you a prescription, we're talking it's going to cost you between $1,500 and $1,900 a month to be on this drug. Okay.
Wow.
$1,900 a month to be on this drug. Insurance will not cover Ozempic right now. There are some that cover Mounjaro, which is not quite as strong as the Ozempic. Oh. So it's going to cost a lot of money, but here's the thing. You have to stay on it forever, meaning that when you come off of it, the weight will more than likely come back on. So what this does, this receptor system, ooh,
look at that.
Something got moody out there.
Well, our light scans. I still think we look okay.
Yeah,
do we look okay?
Yeah, this new studio, guys.
Look at this.
You're not on the YouTube.
Yes.
The YouTube. I sound like my grandma. If you're not on the YouTube, then you can't see this, but it's really nice upgrade, by the way. Side note. But if so if you're going to, where was I? I don't often get sidetracked.
Well, the coming off of, so I guess that was
coming off of the drug.
That was my question with, I have heard, I don't have any practical experience, but I've heard people who have gone on a very, and this is the pro.
The microdosing
of hey, let's just do a schmid bit and just to help take the edge off.
Sure.
Just a little bit. Ideally, be able to create some of these habits that we've talked about on previous podcasts, where, hey, now I'm not, I'm just eating a little bit less. I'm just toning it down a little bit, and get some results that way. And then as I get off the Ozempic, obviously we want those habits to continue. That's where I've heard it in a, hey, this is not the worst thing in the world.
Yeah.
Thing. Now, I don't know how easy it is to just continue those habits after. And I don't know the research on that. If people are, or if they're just, you're on for life and you're paying, well, let's $18,000 a year, and there you go.
Yeah, I think it's important to talk about. So for the people that are morbidly obese, now I'm talking about people that are immobile, people that have, 3+ more comorbidities, which is morbid diseases, right? Morbidity, comorbidities.
Comorbidity.
For people that are in that boat, do I think the drug can save their lives? Absolutely.
No.
Absolutely. At that point where, their lifestyle is already shortening their longevity. So let's introduce something that may not be the best thing forever, but for the trajectory of their lives could be a lifesaver, right? That's not who we're talking about in this conversation. Okay. I just want to say that.
So to clarify, we're not talking about those, homebound people and whatnot that are, morbidly obese. We're talking about normal, everyday overweight people, who are 20 to 50 to 60 pounds overweight. Right. They know they're overweight. They're going through their day and stuff like that, but they want to lose this weight. So we're talking those people. Yeah.
And so I remember now where I was, that how this drug works is it thickens the lining of the digestive system. Okay. So of the stomach, of the intestinal tract, thickening the lining, slowing down the way that the food is broken down and assimilated. Yep. Okay. What we're finding is it's causing something called gastroparesis. Yep. Gastroparesis is when the stomach emptying starts to happen so slow. The food literally is sitting in the stomach and the intestinal tract, fermenting. It's rotting. Okay. So constipation is a major part of this because you're literally eating small, not much food, and it's not moving through that 20 some feet of intestinal tract very fast. Okay. So it causes a paralysis of the digestion process. Yeah. That's why it works. That's why, all of a sudden I'm not so hungry and I only ate this little bit. Well, because it's just sitting there. Yes. So the body isn't emptying. It's not processing. It's not breaking down, and it's not assimilating. I mean, it's not absorbing through that thick stomach lining. It's not absorbing those nutrients. Yeah. So we're now becoming malnutritioned. We're, hair is falling out. Skin is getting dry and crepey. The aging, I don't know if but the aging process is actually accelerated. Hair loss because of the nutrient deficiencies. The biggest thing is muscle loss. Yeah. So 70% of the weight that they've found is from muscle because the body goes catabolic because it's not absorbing enough of the proteins and the micronutrients that it's literally breaking down the muscle fibers in order to get what the body needs. Yeah. So we're losing weight, but at what cost? Yes. So
we're losing muscle. We're not losing fat.
Right. Well, I want to say like 20% fat. Yeah. I don't know the statistic exactly.
Some, definitely.
Right. So there is some fat loss, obviously, but a lot of it is that intrinsic muscle fat that's very important for muscle growth and for like when you have a nice plump muscle belly, right? Like you go to the gym, you get the pump. A lot of times it's because that water is in that intrinsic muscle fat to boost that up, right? So we're losing that.
So it almost works in the same way, eating slowly. When you eat slowly, you get full quicker. I shouldn't say quicker, but you will eat less to get full because you slowly introduce this food into your belly, and the whatever connection between mind and stomach are more aligned if you eat slowly versus if you just dump food into you as fast as humanly possible. Your brain isn't going to know you're full until way past your stomach being full. Ozempic kind of makes it where, hey, we're full already, or we're getting full. I don't know if I'm connecting this well.
That's a part of it.
I'm saying in essence, you could just eat slowly and it be, because it's interesting, but then it's super sad because the major drawback of Ozempic I've heard is now we're losing the muscle piece. And then that's huge within the blood sugar regulation stuff and
the metabolism.
Yeah. The metabolism.
How much muscle we have is very in alignment for how long we live. Yeah. Right. So the less muscle we have, this is why strength training is so important, no matter who you are, no matter what size you are, because that muscle mass does play a role in our longevity.
Yes.
It truly
does. We've said that before.
Yes, we have. Yeah.
Look at that.
Yeah. In the metabolic breakdown. But so these drugs also inhibit part of the brain that cause, even emotional cravings or even causing an aversion to food. So a lot of, nausea is a big side effect. Weakness, muscle weakness is a big side effect. So there's never a cheat code that doesn't come without a cost.
Yep.
right? So even though
side effects may include.
Exactly. So like I said, if there was, if this was introduced in the 90s, I probably would have been like, I'll get a second job. Yeah. It doesn't matter what it takes. This is the answer to all my problems. Yeah. But really what we're trying to do is we're taking a shortcut that is not actually going to lead us to where we want to go over long term. Now you talk to people that are on it, that are in, like they've lost some weight, they feel empowered, they feel confident, they're getting back on these habits and these, eating better, they're getting a fitness routine, all of this. Well, they're still coming with a cost. Yeah. And so what I'm finding with people I'm already seeing even in this past year is now we're breaking down the gut microbiome. The gut microbiome has everything to do with the way that we age, the cognitive decline or enhancement of our brain. Yeah. So we're looking at pre-onset Alzheimer's because the gut is breaking down. Ooh. We know that the gut is the foundation of all health in the body. Yep. And so now we're literally taking a medication that is attacking and affecting the gut primarily. Yeah.
How is it taken? Is this a shot? Is this a pill? Mm-hmm. What is?
Yep. So it's a peptide. Okay. So as with most peptides, legal or not legal, in the belly.
Okay. Gotcha.
Normally about an inch from the belly button so that it can, be taken into the main bloodstream. We want to keep it out of the actual bloodstream. Yeah. So it's going into some fatty tissue. Mm-hmm. And so that's normally where it's taken. And it normally comes as a preloaded injection. So you can't overdose yourself. You can't underdose. So is there a point to where it can be a good thing? Absolutely. But the way that it's being, paraded around as, a beauty, a weight loss, cure or shortcut. Yeah. It's really creating a lot of havoc. And there will be a day that the lawsuits, the sickness, the people that are unwell because of it will emerge. So if you're listening to this podcast and you're considering it, let me tell you this. We know that also the more fiber we eat, and fiber isn't just Metamucil, fiber isn't just to make you poop. Fiber is an array of things that feed your microbiome. We know that when we're feeding our microbiome in a vast diversity, we also have a GLP-1 response. So we can enhance our cravings or take away our cravings for food. We can help stop the mental noise. We can change our digestion by consuming more whole food plant fibers. Yeah. We can do this on our own without putting a chemical substance into our body that's going to create havoc for the rest of our lives. Yeah. I will tell you right now, because of me abusing diet pills in the 90s, and I say abuse, I was prescribed fen-phen. Then when fen-phen got taken off the market, I found ephedrine. So I ate less and less and less. I created my own gastroparesis. So my stomach digestion is very slow. And this is something that I have worked on and been intentional for literally the last 15 years to get better at. My body doesn't absorb fats very well. I take a supplement called TUDCA with bile salts to help the body be able to open up the bile ducts to absorb fats in the body. I have obviously been whole foods for the last 15 years, but even caloric wise, I still don't eat as much as an average woman my size or my age should eat based on metabolic rate, because I slowed down my metabolism so much by eating 900 calories and less for so long. Yeah. So let's say you do take and you eat less and you eat less and you eat less and you lose muscle. So you're not as hungry. You're on this drug. So you're not thinking about food. Food has a weird taste. It's got a metally taste. So you're not eating as much. And so you're like, yeah, I've hit a plateau. So I'm going to eat less. And so your calories drop from 1,200, which, by the way, if you're ever told to eat 1,200 calories, that's about as a fourth grader should eat. So then you drop it to 11 and 10 and 9 and 7, right? Your metabolic rate will match whatever your daily intake is. So if you're only consuming 1,000 calories a day on this Ozempic, and your metabolic rate will drop to 1,000 calories a day.
Yeah.
Say you get off the drug because maybe you're having side effects. Maybe you can't afford it anymore, right? You then will consume more because your body wants more, but your metabolic rate stays at 1,000 calories a day. You eat 1,500 calories a day. It's a matter of time before you gain that weight back.
Yes.
Does that make sense?
That was very well put.
So
I love that whole thing. Well, and if you're not, I mean, which I think goes to like crash diets and stuff like that too. You know, you all of a sudden,
same category.
You starve yourself for a period of time. Metabolic rate drops.
Leptin levels plummet.
Yes, and your body doesn't know the difference between you trying to lose weight / you're getting chased by a lion, you know, and you can't eat, and so now all of a sudden it takes energy from wherever it can, and it will take some of your fat store, but it'll also take muscle. So now all of a sudden you get down to that point of, hey, I'm eating 900 calories and I have no muscle, and you know, but now I love what you said. Hey, it's too expensive for me, or hey, I'm having side effects, and now you go back to eating, you know, the 1,500 or you know, super moderate. You know, whatever the USDA 2,000 calorie, you know, whatever it is, and it's double what you were consuming. Now all of a sudden you don't have any fat mass on you. You know, you're gonna have blood sugar things and you know, gain that weight back. And you see the wheels falling off in a hurry. Yeah, absolutely. And so you had that little taste of being in a smaller body. You had that little taste of being in control of your food, but then it swooshes back in times 10. And then the depression and the failure and this is my forever. Plus now you still have the side effects of the gastroparesis. You've got the side effects of the malnourishment, not being able to absorb and assimilate those nutrients. So here's the thing. If it ever seems too good to be true, it almost every time is. Every time. See, now, because I did see on The View, Whoopi Goldberg's been doing it. So my thought is, I mean, Sister Act was fantastic. Sister Act 2, a little less good, but the first one, so good. I thought was fantastic.
Oh my gosh, I need to get that out.
Oh God, we watched it with our kids a couple months ago. It's funny. Whoopi, you did great. But I know Whoopi lost some weight through Ozempic. She might have a little bit more working capital than you or I. I don't know. I don't know what The View pays. You know, but so she's getting up there in age. And I don't know how many other Hollywood types are doing that, but I mean, man, I think you laid. What happens if, say, I'm Whoopi? And I seriously did see a clip of her saying that she was almost 300 pounds and then she's dropped. I don't know what she's down to. Say somebody does this. Say somebody gets on it and they listen to this podcast and they're like, holy buckets, Krystal makes some great points. I have lost some fat, but I've definitely lost muscle. And I want to get better and I want to get off Ozempic. What would you recommend? What's the pivot here? How do we is it rip the Band-Aid right off? Is it slowly titrate off? Is it even possible to titrate off with the I forgot what you said how you described it.
Yeah, it's a preloaded.
There we go. Like you can't give yourself a half a dosage.
Right. Yeah.
Is this a conversation with your doctor or what?
Yep. Yeah.
What are steps here? Yeah,
you're going to need to have a conversation with your doctor. And what you said, slowly get off of it, because what will happen when you do, you're going to go into that rebounding where your body was literally in a starvation mode to where it had to drop its metabolic rate to compensate, right? So that you wouldn't die. Remember, your body just doesn't want to die. Like your body is built for survival. So of course it's going to do that. But once it does that, and then you don't have the suppressant anymore, there's always going to be a rebound. So you're going to be so absolutely hungry. You're going to feel out of control with food. And so almost like with bodybuilders and wrestlers, anybody that does like a cut. I know even in powerlifting, we had to do a cut to make weight, right? To be within that certain class. And the rebounding was always very real, except unless there was an diet approach. What's the diet approach where you build the calories back in? Reverse dieting.
Reverse diet. Yes.
So you're going to need
which I'm a huge fan of.
Reverse dieting.
Yes.
But remember now, we've thickened the lining of the gut. We've slowed down we've caused a paralysis of the digestion. So we're going to need to get some motility supplements. Taking some motility.
So the opposite of reverse diet. Instead of building, because reverse diet, just for people that don't know, you lift heavy, you gain muscle, put on muscle. So to have that, basal metabolic rate at, I don't know, say you're an average male and you're eating 2,000 calories. I'm making this up, and then you lift weights, you get stronger, you put on 5 pounds of muscle or 10 pounds of muscle, and now all of a sudden you can eat 2,200 calories or maybe 2,400 calories. Start to push 3,000, whatever. And now you gain muscle. And now, hey, now I want to get a little leaner. Well, hey, you're running at 2,700 calories. Now, if you drop it down to 2,300 calories, 2,200 calories, run a little 500 calorie, deficit. Now watch the fat come off of you because you have the muscle, you have the metabolic rate. Correct me if I'm saying anything wrong within this, by the way. But you can't do that forever.
Right.
Like you don't want to keep dropping down, but you already built that muscle. So you'll probably lose some muscle within that too, but ideally not much, because you have, again, it's not a huge calorie surplus. It's little calorie surplus where you can keep continuing to lift weights and be strong. And stay healthy there, so you do keep that muscle mass, but then at some point, hey, I want to put more muscle back on. So then you continue on. Ozempic's doing it the backwards way.
Correct.
We're going to starve the crap out of you.
Right. Immediately.
I don't even know. I'm curious to know protocols. I don't like, if people are eating that little, are they able to lift weights and stuff like that? I don't know how much energy one would have.
Energy's in the gutter, right? No
motivation.
Especially in the first 30 days, people really deal with throwing up and nausea because literally you're causing a paralysis of the digestion system.
That's another way to lose weight,
right? Well, and I don't know if you remember.
Terrible joke, guys. Terrible joke. I'm sorry.
I'm like, I didn't skip a beat.
Well, anorexia, well, bulimia.
I mean, it works until it doesn't, right? Like we said before. But I don't know. Oprah had a special that came out specifically on Ozempic. Not even.
What did Oprah say?
It's on Netflix. You can watch it, and I watched it like the day it came out.
I didn't know this was out there.
People that deal with food noise, people that deal with food addiction are the victims. Like, it's not their fault. There's no ownership. Right? There's no ownership. Is there a part where it's not our fault? Absolutely. Because that's our food system. That's what you and I have talked about so many times. It's the way it's been built, but we have to take the ownership, because if we don't take the ownership, we cannot take our power back. We're still surrendering now that the only way out of this being a victim to food is this drug. Now we're a victim to the drug and the food. Right? So you can still eat your Doritos, you can still eat your hot dogs and your French fries and your McDonald's on Ozempic. But now, because there's an aversion in your mouth, it doesn't taste good, tastes metally, you're nauseous, you're not hungry, like you eat less of it. So of course you're going to lose weight at first. But 9 times out of 10, you're going to hit a plateau. And then what's the alternative? Right? Now you still got weight to lose. You still have 50 pounds to lose, and you've now got all these symptoms. You've got all of these things that you've got to work with now. You destroyed the gut microbiome. Your motility is slowed down. Your food doesn't digest, right? So you've lost all of this muscle. And so in order to what was our word? Reverse diet. We've got to slowly incorporate calories back in. But here's the thing, because your gut digestion is slow, we don't know at what rate we can do that. So there's going to be a rebound. When people come to me, maybe they've been on a strong keto diet or something, and they're at a plateau and they're not getting results. I already know that their metabolic system is unsafe.
Yeah.
And 9 times out of 10, in order for them to get well, to build that metabolic rate back up, they're going to gain weight.
Yeah.
You just are. And now if you want to heal your body from this drug that helped you lose weight, you've got to be willing to gain weight.
Yeah.
And so it just creates this total like mind mess for yourself and for the rest of your life. Yeah. So with that, how do you get out of it? You've got to reverse diet. You've got to work with somebody that knows supplements that are going to help you so that you teach your body how to redigest food. And then you got to get in the gym and build that muscle back.
Yeah.
You know, with the branched chain amino acids, because now you're depleted, and it's even because you're so depleted, it's not only pulled from your muscles, it's pulled from your bones. Yeah. The calcium, your bones are weaker. There's holes in your bones. There's, your hair isn't growing like it was. Your skin isn't glowing. Your nails aren't growing. Like, the repercussions are massive. Yeah. So it's tempting because Ozempic and Moderna will chase you around the dang internet until you look into it and you're like, oh, maybe I do need this. Yep. You know what? My pants are really tight. So it's really tempting today. I'm really having a hard, self-talk day today. Yeah. So maybe just a little microdose would help, and then we're talked into the microdose, and the microdose has to increase and it has to increase and it has to increase. So really think long and hard about it, not just with your head, but with your soul. Yeah. You've got to think about it with your spirit. Yeah. Is this the path that you're willing to take for some weight loss? Or do you know that you can, if you try and you gave yourself, 90 days to say, okay, whole foods, real whole foods, and see what happens, along with the consistency of working out, lifting weights, getting some muscle on your body to build that metabolic rate, see what happens. The drug isn't always the magic pill that we hoped it would be.
Well, and then how goofy is it if you're to, again, some fantastic things within pharmaceuticals have done fantastic, because there was a time where our life expectancy wasn't very high. And now it's much higher. Oddly enough, it was higher, and now it's gone down a little bit these past few years. Yeah. Yep. Big. And actually, we're less, because we happen to be less healthy than what we were, which is crazy to think about. And so just the idea of, hey, I'm going to inject myself with this peptide. Is it a daily thing? I don't even know. Typically, do you know?
I think it depends. A week, if you're on a micro versus more of a macro dose, it's going to change. Yeah. I know it's such a controversial subject, so I know when you post this, or if you post the snippets on YouTube, there's going to be a lot of possible conversation. Yeah. So
that's a nice way to say
negative
possible conversation.
Possible, let's say, heated conversation. Yeah. And so I think it's really important to understand that everybody's perception is going to be based on their reality. Yeah. Absolutely. So if their reality is, my life is better now than it was 6 months ago because I've lost 30 pounds and I'm more active and I feel better, that's not what we're talking about. We're not negating the amazing health benefits that weight loss brings. Yep. What we're bringing to attention is the long-term effects that most times, not every time, but most times happen with choosing to take this path. Yeah. That's what we're saying. We're not negating that losing weight isn't going to help you feel better, or that you were stuck, or that you were depressed and you felt hopeless. Like, there is a mental placebo that happens, a positive mental placebo that happens when we feel empowered. Yeah. And so that's going to build traction. And that's, I think, the part that we're hearing about, on your social media platforms, that like, this is life-changing. Nobody can ever tell me that this is a bad thing. We're not saying that. We're saying long-term, babe. Yeah. Like, we're looking long-term. We're looking at gut health. We're looking at your vitality and your longevity, and how long do you want to live, and how long do you want to, keep from cancer and disease. That's what we're talking about. Yeah. Right. Yeah. So if I'm willing to put myself in that jeopardy, then I've got to be willing to do the hard things, as changing my lifestyle for 90, 120 days and see what kind of traction I can do on my own. Yeah.
Yeah. But the people in the commercials always look so happy.
Of course they are.
There's sun shining. There's typically a picnic and a dog.
I know. There is with beer commercials too, and like your Coronas, and I mean, they're having the best time.
They are.
I mean,
some Corona, some Ozempic, and you're good to go.
And a burger.
Mm-hmm.
Probably Carl's Jr.
Yeah. And a puppy. Can we throw in a puppy there?
I was going to say a puppy.
Yeah.
Puppies make everybody happy.
Really does.
And if you can do all of that while you're thin, I mean,
yes.
I mean,
the best thing ever.
Sign it up, right?
Best thing ever.
Right. So we are so suckered into seeing the highlight reels on anything.
Yeah.
Right. The highlight reels on marriages, the highlight reels on, you know, stuff and things we own, the highlight reels on health. Right. We're not seeing the behind the scenes and we're not seeing 10 years into the future. Yeah. And we have to remember that.
Yeah. Everything's
going to look better than it actually is.
Yeah.
Especially when we play it out.
Yeah. When you and I were talking about this before we hit record, and not that I want to go down this route right now because we're focused on the Ozempic thing, but like the whole COVID thing hit, and it was my hope as a gym owner that when we came back and we bounced back, you know, so much of COVID hit people that were unwell, you know, whether it be the elderly, obese, you know, people with multiple
comorbidities.
Thank you. You know, that are problematic, which I totally get. I was hoping we'd come out of COVID and people would be like, oh my gosh, that was scary. I don't want to put all my eggs in the basket of, you know, oh gosh, I hope the government comes through with, you know, the blankety blank vaccine. You know, I noticed that unhealthy people really got, you know, nailed with this. A lot of people died. It was terrible. I'm going to get healthy and I'm going to take care of myself and I'm going to eat whole foods and I'm going to lift weights. And next thing I know, Ozempic's out. And it's just like, you don't have to worry about, you know, taking care of yourself. Just take this peptide for $2,000 a month and it will be, you know, so rewarding to you, and blah, 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 blah. And Oprah's doing it and Whoopi's doing it.
So it must be safe.
So it must be safe because these people obviously have your best interest in mind. Kelly Clarkson. Oh, Kelly
Kardashians, Adele, like the list goes on and on.
Oh, that's how
Christina
Adele lost her way.
Oh. The list goes on and on and
so
on.
So
it's
on everyone in Hollywood, basically.
Well, that and who knows, you know, were they taking it along with, you know, NAD and, you know, who knows what else, right? Like, it's the way that we're being sold that it's what's going to make us happy and healthy and whole. Yeah. And that's the polar opposite. Just like most things in Hollywood, right? Just like most things if I go get lip fillers and Botox and a nose job, I'll be happy. And all I want to do is be happy and it'll make me happy. Yeah. So I'll do it, you know, and being thinner will make me happy. Being lighter on my knees and my joints will make me happy. Yep. We're sold on an emotional response. We're not sold on our actual reality, right? That's why the ones in the commercials drinking the beer and eating the burgers are thin and happy and joyous. Yeah. They're not the ones that are just like sitting there and now they need to go take a nap, right? Because that doesn't sell us an emotional response that we're looking for. Everything that we're being sold on is speaking to our core, our soul desire to be happy, healthy, and free, right? Yeah. So when we see it that way, turn off the volume and we actually look at the way that we're being sold. Yeah. Right? Yeah. These marketing people know what they're doing. Absolutely. Yeah. Absolutely. Because then they get a timeshare in Tahiti if they do it right. Yeah. Yeah. And that'll make them happy, right? So that's how we're duped in. Yeah. So when we're looking at this, like even with, you know, the health of, you know, COVID, 60%, and I actually was just remembered these statistics a couple days ago, 60% of people that did get COVID and did die had 3+ comorbidities. Yeah. Right. So the people that got it that didn't have these rebounded fine, vaccinated or not, unvaccinated, right? So when we look at the foundational of what sets us up to be well, it's always going to be our immune system. And where does our immune system live? Yeah, a lot in the gut. It lives in our gut. So back to the gut and how Ozempic works, right? So if we want to live happy, healthy, and long, we need a happy, healthy gut. Mm-hmm. And if we're taking something that affects our gut and paralyzes our gut, we're not choosing to live happy, healthy, and long. Yeah. Right?
Yeah.
I laugh, but I'm not.
No.
It's because we're being suckered into a commercial or a belief in that it's going to make us feel a certain way.
Yeah.
So as somebody who has lost 120 pounds, the slow, progressive, hard, painful way of doing that, it has not just brought weight loss. It has changed a priority structure. It's changed a belief system. It's changed boundaries. It's changed a voice to self-advocate, to speak up, right?
Yeah.
So is it hard? Absolutely. But has it come with deep reward? Absolutely.
Yeah.
Changing the longevity of not just my life, but my children's, changing the genetic disposition of my lineage, right? So again, if it looks like a shortcut that's too good to be true, it probably is.
Yeah. Yeah. So I think that's a perfect spot to wrap up there. I mean, I think that it comes down to it. Again, the marketing is insane. Anybody sitting in their couch, watching TV and seeing these commercials, like it will draw on your heartstrings, and it just, especially if you've struggled with losing weight and being heavier than you want to be.
Yes.
You're like, hey, this might be my thing. Yeah. However, if you slow down and rewind and take everything into account, probably not the best thing for you.
Yeah.
Or we'll say is not.
Well, and I want to, just before we end, I want to circle back to, I was that person that literally contemplated taking their own life because I felt so powerless to food. So when we're talking about being in the depths and being in the hell of the diet cycle, of the shame, of the pain, of the misery of doing things in which I don't want to do, I was there too. I am that. I was that. Yeah. And when we change our relationship with food and we change our belief system with food and we become aware of the battle, the war on our very soul through food, we can then start to change. Because when you're in that pit and you're in the dark and you feel like you're able to crush any other thing in your life except for this battle with food, it seems like the only way out, and it was made for you. Yeah. But the truth is it wasn't. It wasn't made for any of us. Yeah. It was made by man that found a shortcut, that found a way to make a whole lot of money. Yeah. And now
a lot of money.
Yeah.
Stupid amounts of money.
Right.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. Because these pharmacy companies are not hurting for money.
No.
Yeah. Mm-mm. We're in the wrong really lines of work if we wanted to make a lot of money.
We're swimming upstream, friends.
We really are.
I know.
Gosh.
We're out here basically nonprofit.
Yeah.
I get no kickbacks when people start eating kale.
We should call Pfizer, see if we can get a job. Man.
Yeah. If we could find their phone number, which good luck with that even. They're like, how'd they get to us? Well, and that's what's so cool about RFK coming.
Yes.
Like his main agenda is literally exposing truth.
Yeah.
Like it's not going to come with a whole lot of like visual change. It's going to come with a whole lot of exposing truth and putting the corrupt system in a place where maybe, just maybe in our future, we may be able to trust it. Yeah. But right now,
that'd be awesome if we could.
We can't trust it.
No.
And that's just the truth.
No.
That's why when your food, says FDA, it doesn't mean anything.
Yeah.
It doesn't mean anything.
Yeah.
They're all, as we say, sleeping in bed with each other.
Yeah. Really.
Truly.
Really, really. So, Krystal, you just gave our listeners a head, a little foreshadowing for coming podcasts, because it is interesting with, RFK coming in with, looking into health things and whatnot. And I'm very curious to see what's going on. But listeners, that will be another podcast. You calm yourself down.
Yeah, we've got to.
But hopefully it would be great to be able to truly trust. When you see these FDA recommends blankety blank, that would be awesome. Because there was a time, we used to back in the 90s, it was, we took it, and I don't even know how trustworthy it was back then. But we did it because we were not our only advocate. I felt like our doctor advocated for us, and, we had these, but I don't think that exists so much anymore. So here we are. But that, again, listeners, new podcast.
That'll be we're going to need to bring coffee to that one.
Yes.
And we're going to have to caffeine up and get bold. Yes. Because I think there's a lot to say when it comes, to exposing truth.
Yeah.
And we're also going to need to watch our words so that it doesn't get pulled from YouTube.
Yes.
So hopefully with the changes in the government, things like that won't get flagged as easily.
I hope we spread no misinformation or disinformation.
That some of your podcasts got flagged.
Yes, that'd be awesome.
Yeah.
We are we walk the line, guys. You don't know what's coming out of that. You guys want to
come with us 2025?
Yeah. You don't know what's coming out of the Happy, Healthy, Strong podcast.
Especially if we have some coffee.
Yes. Look out.
Organic, of course. I'll bring it.
Of course.
Okay. Of course. Let's end it here.
Krystal, again, people want to reach out to you.
Yeah.
Life Nutrition on Facebook and Instagram, LYFE.
Yes.
Nutrition.
Yes. Yes. And I will say, just my voice is changing a bit. I feel like I have been walking on eggshells the past couple of years in order to not offend those that are where I used to be. But I'm coming more on the side where I'm being more vocal about not putting up with regulations and moderation. Yeah. My voice and my lifestyle is living more in the radical and not being afraid of it, not being ashamed of it.
Yeah.
So not being afraid to swim upstream, not being afraid to be the odd one out at the dinner table when you go out to eat with your friends. Yeah. My voice is becoming a little more bold. It's not changing. My personal voice isn't changing, but what I'm putting out there is becoming that way. So
there we go.
So who knows? Just like you.
I can't wait for Instagram to cancel you a couple times.
Well, that's not the goal. But maybe some more recipes along with it.
That is good. To put yourself out there to be, I don't want to say more authentic, but more,
a little more free.
I'm with you because not my biggest flaw as a human, because I have so many, but I don't want people to not like me. I want to be liked. I think a lot of people do. Yeah.
Design. That's why we compromise the things.
I'll say the nice things and Oh, but I don't want to offend you.
Right.
Oh, well, and I'm not trying to offend, but I'm trying to get better at being like, hey, this
bold.
Yeah.
Truth.
Yes.
Yeah. I think I have seen it that in order for us to do our best service, we can't just be another bland, lukewarm person speaking. We need to stand in the truth, and we need to speak the truth and be unapologetic about the truth. Right. And I have not reversed several autoimmune diseases, as well as autism in my son, as well as 120-pound weight loss by succumbing to what people liked.
Yeah.
Right.
Mic drop.
That's right.
There we go.
Trying to end it. We should probably do it.
No, that was fantastic. Listeners, 2025, Happy, Healthy, Strong podcast. Welcome to boldness.
2025, year of bold.
Yes.
Authentic truth. Let's do it.
We're going to bring it, guys. You buckle up. Listeners, thanks for listening. We'll catch you on the next one. That's all we have for you today. If you have any questions or want to chat or interested in seeing what we're up to in between episodes, head over to Instagram and Facebook and follow @OakStrength. Also check us out at oakstrength.com. If you like this episode, please share it with someone who wants to live happy, healthy, and strong. If you really liked it, subscribe and review the Happy, Healthy, Strong podcast on iTunes or Spotify. Be sure to tune back in next week and remember to keep owning your health.